I am 52 years old and I live in Northern Illinois in the United States. And I've lived here all my life. Done some traveling, not a whole lot, but been around places here and there. Been to Arizona, gone to Florida, gone to the Caribbean, things like that. Um, and I was a CPA, a certified public accountant. When I graduated college, I got a job as an accountant. Now, back then, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to start my own business. That's why I got an accounting degree, but I stepped into a career into public accounting because really coming out of college, that's kind of what they were pushing. And that was the path of least resistance. I wanted to get out of Illinois at the time, wanted to move maybe to Florida, somewhere south, somewhere warmer. But an opportunity opened up here and I stepped into it. So again, the path of least resistance. And throughout my career, I dove in, money focused, like I'm sure many of you are, wanting to build financial security, things of that nature. You go to work, and being a tax preparer during tax season, I was working crazy hours, went through a couple of different positions, switched companies, ended up at a company where I became a partner, was a real good fit. Had a lot of time off over the summer. It was really, really nice. And with that time, I started to work on other businesses, started to fire things up because the accounting work wasn't resonating with me. It wasn't fulfilling, even though I was making great money, had a great lifestyle. I live in a nice house with my wife, my two kids who are both in college. Just really appearances wise, things looked really good, looked really successful from anybody looking in. But there was a hole. So I kept trying to fill that hole. I was a martial artist when I was growing up, got back into martial arts in my 30s, took flying lessons, became a private pilot. So all these different interests diving into to try to fill that. But none of it really, really stuck. None of it really just stoked that fire within me. And as I continued on in my career, just starting different businesses, kind of dipping my toes in different things. I do have a web design business and search marketing business, which is great. I love doing that work, but it's not a full-time type of thing. So got into that, a few other things, but it just, something was missing. Something was missing. Now, in 2018, before I get into that, my whole life, I've been very interested in spirituality. I've been very interested in UFOs and ETs, ghosts, paranormal. Let's frame it from that perspective. I grew up in a Jewish family. My family was not very religious. They would go to, the high holidays once a year, that kind of thing. And I really resisted that. I kind of strayed away from Judaism. As I got older, it just didn't really resonate with me. So back in 2018, I was getting to a point where I know my partners were talking about retiring. I knew I had to do something else because I was going to find myself without a career. I didn't want to continue. I didn't want to buy them out. I did not want to continue in accounting. So that was coming. I lost my dog, Maverick, my Doberman of 12 years. We lost him in 2018. I think it was in May. Very tragic time for us. He was just an incredible, awesome member of the family. My cousin passed away. She was in her 40s, I believe. So mortality was staring me in the face. So you sit and you start to ponder life, right? Where are we going? What are we here for? What's the grand purpose? What's the grand scheme of things? So you kind of sit and you start to think about this stuff. Now, I didn't jump online. I didn't decide to get into spirituality. I didn't decide to become a spiritual coach. I was sitting in my backyard one day and listening to Genesis, say it's my favorite band, and I popped out of my body. Just spontaneously, boom. I consider that, my crown chakra just opening up, found myself in space. Those of you who have been following me, subscribed to my channel for a while, have heard that story. Had an amazing download come through, a lot of information, energy rushing through me. That completely changed my life. It was like a 180. Everything else seemed kind of trivial. Now, of course, we still have to provide, right? You guys, I'm sure, feel that you have this drive to do something, but we still have to provide. We still have to live in this 3D reality and kind of function from within it. So I started traveling down that road and started doing some research. I came across some wonderful people, met some amazing people online through my channel. I'd watch videos on YouTube. I originally was listening to, I think, Teal Swan. I switched over to listening to, like Lori Ladd a little bit, Joe Dispenza, Neville Goddard, people, that kind of material was what I was kind of getting into to try to kind of find my footing here in this new reality, because I realized that other people were having these experiences. So it was my experiences that kind of dove me into this. When we're on this quest to really try to find our purpose, to try and find that fulfillment, that thing that lights us, when we just hold on to that and sit with that, doors of opportunity start to open up. And that's what allowed me to have that spiritual awakening where I popped out of my body. From that point, I had my guides coming through. The Galactic Federation came forward. My Pleiadian guide came forward. Very intimate, powerful connections, very telepathic. One of my guides communicated through imagery. So I was learning all this stuff from them, which was absolutely amazing. And of course, then you move into a period of dark night of the soul, which I've been through several of those, where you kind of feel like you've lost your way, you disconnect, things like that. So I moved through that kind of a journey. And from that, I guess I could say that this emerged, starting YouTube, getting on Instagram, building a website, took my skills as a web designer and search marketer, built the website, wanted to really have this deep desire to connect with others and to help. Now, I want to say that whatever you may be feeling, as far as not having a sense of direction or not being in alignment with that life purpose, I've been there. The videos, I would say all the videos that I bring forward on this channel are from experiences that I've had, feelings that I've encountered, situations that I've had to work through myself. I've been there, and I will continue to be there. I'm not light years ahead of anybody. Yes, I have this connection. This connection opened up to me very rapidly. I know a lot of you are in contact with your guides, and some of you are in contact with your star family. Obviously, Pleiadians, Arcturians, whoever it may be. I don't want anybody to look at me and think that what I have is unattainable, because it isn't. We are all living universes, living versions of the universe, all of us. That includes you. I simply may have been just a few steps ahead, not light years ahead. And I awakened when I awakened. And if you're looking or moving through difficulties, in your journey on your path, you will encounter those that will help you. You will make your connections. You will make your connections with your guides. They will come to you in different ways. So I don't want anybody to look at me and my experiences and think that that's how it is. We are all different. We all connect in different ways. I've learned that listening to people like Lori Ladd, just with her experiences and her connection, things like that. She really resonates with my path. There are others that have had things that have really been different from me, but yet they are all part of the experience. Everybody has their own experience. So I continue to do this work. Now that I've sold my practice, my accounting practice earlier this year, I'm available to do this full time. And this is what I love to do. I don't have really any thoughts of doing anything else. Maybe something will come forward in the future. That's okay, because we have to remain available to what the universe is going to provide us, what we're ready to receive. So I don't close off any doors. I love working with other people. I love just hearing their stories. And the more I talk to people, the more I find that there are many of us that are having these types of amazing, incredible experiences. We are in this process right now, this ascension process, the planet. We're all going through it. We're all experiencing it in our own way, and we're all facing struggles. Okay, I am too. I have many, many struggles. I know I teach a lot of this, how to get through it, because I bring forward what works for me to move through some of these struggles, but yet they're still there. Every morning I wake up, guys, I I have a hard time with carrying that momentum forward from the prior day. If I get into doing videos and things like that, I wake up the next morning and I'm feeling really flat. So I have to kind of get back centered, meditate. I'll go work out. I'll have a morning routine, which kind of gets me on that track again to get back into the flow. Sometimes I'll submit to the TV. Okay, it's there, it's easy. The mind's like, we could do the video later, we could do the post later. Let's just check the weather, turn on the TV, and 2 hours later, I'm done watching a movie. Okay, these are the types of things. I've had to deal with a lot of conflict with others. When you're going down this path and you see reality looking really, really wacky, it's looked really wacky the past 2-3 years, right? You encounter conversations and you encounter situations that don't resonate. And these are opportunities for us to center and align and bring our light forward. And let me tell you, I've blown them. I've blown a lot of those. I've flown off the handle. I've gotten angry. I've lost it. Okay. It doesn't happen as much these days, but over the past 2 or 3 years, it's happened. Okay. I'm human. It happens and it's okay. It's part of the experience. We reflect back on those things and we hold on to them. We bring love and compassion forward. That's what we're here to do. We're here to bring awareness to these emotions, to the density. These are grounding energies that anchor us into this body. All we want to do is just raise the frequency of them. We want to kind of bring them all back into the pie, bring them all back into the fold. That's what we're here to do. So if you're struggling with a relationship, with a job, whatever it may be, bring your awareness to the emotions and sit and feel with them, because that is generally, I would say almost always, the handle to the door, to open the doorway. When we could sit and be okay with those emotions, when we could sit and be okay with not being happy with a job or not feeling whole or right in a relationship, when we can accept that, that kind of leaves that in the rearview mirror and it allows doors to open. When we sit and we dwell in it, when we sit and we identify with the unhappiness instead of allowing it to be, we keep that door closed. In fact, we can't even find the door. That's our soul's way of guiding us, of showing us. And I've been there. I've been knocked off track. I've been knocked off out of alignment. Sometimes it's taken days. 3-4 years ago, maybe it took a week or two or more to get back into alignment. The more I do this work, the more I ground, the more I do the breath work. I build the circuitry, and it allows me to get back into alignment quicker. And I've noticed that that is paying huge dividends because I can do it. Simple breath work. I'll come down into my studio here, hit the record button, and I'll start talking to you guys. And that gets me back into alignment. That's the gold. That's the opportunity. But it's not always that easy. So I'm right there with you in the challenges, in the difficulties. So many times people will come forward, they'll leave a comment, they'll message me, whatever it may be, and they'll say, my situation isn't like that. It's a lot harder. It's a lot more difficult. It's this, it's that, whatever. I've been through very difficult situations. I've had both my parents die within the span of, I think 13, 14 months. My mom passed away unexpectedly in 2018, shortly after I awakened. And my dad was in an assisted living memory care facility. He couldn't care for himself. That became my full responsibility. I had to step into that. As I'm going through this awakening, going through dark night of the soul, having to figure out what the heck has happened in my life, I was dealing with those types of things. So I've had my struggles, and I look at those struggles as huge growth opportunities. And as I was going through the one with my dad, he helped me tremendously. I just the amount of gratitude I have for that time that I spent with him over that year, had to be there for him, wanted to be there for him, So many magical situations came out of that. And this was a man that really couldn't care for himself at that point in time. He had a brain tumor, treated for a brain tumor, and had radiation, and left him cognitively deficient. I guess it's the best way to say it. So I stepped in, and we've had, during that 13, 14 months, some of the most incredible, enlightening conversations that I've had with anyone. So my mind is saying, oh, this is a very difficult situation, having to jump in and take care of my father, because my mom was his huge caretaker. I realized that it was all set up. It was all staged as an opportunity for me to expand, for me to grow. So my mom kind of stepped out of the way, handed it off to me, and I took it running, did things that I never thought I had it in me to do. When I was young, teens, I always had a fear that my father was going to die. I had a heart attack, whatever it may be, something like that. Always had a fear. And here I was, my mom had passed. I was facing my dad's mortality, and I was the one that was front and center. And I look back now and I realized that I awakened just prior to those events happening because I had to, because I was supposed to. It was part of my path, part of my journey. So you're not always going to understand why things are happening to you the way they are. The mind is going to try, your ego is going to try to understand it. That's the opportunity for you to create that space. This goes back to Eckhart Tolle, who I haven't mentioned in this video, another huge influence. One of the first ones, really, after I awakened, I dove into The Power of Now, New Earth. Amazing, amazing books. They're on my website, on the store page, if you guys want to pick them up. I've got all of my reading material, really, the primary ones, and I can say all of them are listed on my website on the store page. If you're interested, check that out. Just Eckhart was a big influence with creating space, and going through these situations, we need to create space and realize that we are not our thoughts. We are observing our thoughts, and we want to be able to hold that space and allow these emotions to come up, to be felt. So I worked through a lot of that. So I've been through just, basically dropping my career, stepping away from a career that I've been in since I was 22, 23 years old, right? To, start losing my dog, my cousin, facing mortality, and both of my parents, all while I'm going through this spiritual awakening and dark night of the soul. So I've kind of been in that washing machine. I know a lot of you are having struggles. I hope this video relates to that. I hope you can relate to this video and relate to my story a little bit. If you guys have any questions about me or about things that I've gone through or my past, whatever it may be, you can leave a comment below, or better yet, DM me on Instagram. I'd be happy to kind of fill you in a little bit more. Maybe we'll do another video, whatever it may be. But I felt like I wanted to share that. I haven't really come forward. Now, those of you who are in my premium membership have probably heard a lot of that. We've talked about some of that. You guys know me in a much different way than those of you just watching me on YouTube. So I wanted to kind of bring that forward to kind of close this relationship a little bit, make it a little bit closer, so you could really feel that I'm coming from a perspective of experience and trust. I didn't just decide one day to become spiritual, read a bunch of books, and just, here I have a business. I've been through this. I have been through dark night of the soul, like I said, numerous times, feels like, and have developed and accumulated, with help of others, awesome tools, awesome knowledge, and things like that to help me stay centered and to help me continue to grow on a daily basis. So that's what I want to do, is bring that information forward for you guys, so that, again, we could become a family. We could become a family, that you could have complete trust in me, and that I could get to know you on a much more intimate level, conversational type, that kind of thing. And guys, look, we're all in this together. Okay, there's no one that is higher or more special or more, knowing than anybody else. You guys all have access to the same knowledge. The titans in this industry, you guys all have access to that knowledge. You're just not aligned with it at the moment. And I'm just here to help restore that within you. So if this video resonated with you guys, give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Share it. If you know anybody that's going through the struggles, please feel free to share the video with them, point them to my channel. I would be so, so grateful. So thank you guys, and we'll talk soon.